What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Meaning of Podcast. I am Ace.
This is RB3.
And this is the podcast where we talk about your favorite filmmakers and the deeper meaning within their films. And today is our Oscar Roundup special. We have finished the Academy Award, guys. It has been officially 2 days since Sunday. So it's a Tuesday, so it's kind of a little bit late to be talking about the Academy Awards. However, this is our day the podcast goes up for us, so we're going to talk about what has transpired as far as the 90th Oscars that just went down. We're going to talk about the winners. We're going to talk about surprises, snubs, upsets. We want to talk about the show as a whole, the hosting, the bits, the nitty-gritty, guys. We're going to get into all of it in this episode, so make sure and tune in all the way through. We're going to try and run it down as quick as we can. We don't want to drag it out, but we will make it as entertaining as possible because that's what we do on the Meaning of Podcast.
We're not making a 4-hour show here.
We ain't making no 4-hour show. We want them ratings, man.
Yeah.
We want them numbers, even though we don't get them. But we're going to talk about our comments from last week's episode, technically, we had 2 episodes last week, which was Spike Lee and our Oscar predictions. And I failed miserably on my Oscar predictions because I went with my heart, and it turns out my heart is wrong most of the time.
Man, you can't bet against the favorites.
I tried, man. If I honestly picked the actual favorites, I would have clearly won because I've said like what should be winning and what I want to win, and I kind of went with I want to win instead of what should be winning. Anyways, I messed up. I lost. Oh well. Let's read some comments from last week's episode. Once again, guys, make sure you leave us comments every week. It's the best way to connect with us. It's the best way to keep in the loop. It's the best way to tell us that you're interested in what is going on the Meaning of Podcast and that you support us and that you support what we do. Please do so because we need that support. Here's a comment from Parsa Efrahari who says, Ace, you must see Call Me By Your Name and 3 Billboards. Yes, I want to see Call Me By Your Name. I still haven't seen that movie. It still is semi not appealing to me. Sorry.
Oh,
it just looks like a super boring movie.
Oh, man.
However, I did see 3 Billboards outside
I
Ebbing,
saw 3
Missouri.
Billboards too. I saw
you
3
saw
billboards
3 Billboards.
too, yeah.
Did you see my tweet about it?
No, I didn't see your tweet.
Come
about
on, man. My
it.
tweet's legendary, bro.
Oh, shit,
I got them
didn't see
likes,
it.
man. I got
My
them
bad.
18 likes.
Oh, shit. My bad.
I confessed that 3 Billboards is a good movie.
Yeah.
It's
It's
a good
fantastic.
movie.
I was ready to come in here, man, to debate you. Like,
No, it's a good movie.
Yeah.
However,
Whoa.
I put that asterisk, and I say that I don't think it deserves Best Picture, and I'm glad it didn't win Best Picture. What's up, bro? What's up, 3 Billboard fans? They're gonna come at me again, tell me they're gonna kill me.
You don't think it deserves to be nominated? You don't think it deserves
100% deserves nomination. 100% deserves original screenplay nomination. It deserves a Martin McDonagh recognition. It deserves all the acting recognition that it deserved. It is 110% a good movie, a really good movie. I just still don't feel like it's a 2017 defined movie. I don't think it defines the year, and I feel like an Oscar Best Picture winner should define the year and should be an all-encompassing movie.
But
if that makes any sense.
Yeah, but then, like, do you think The Shape of Water encompasses anything?
That's a good point.
2017?
Here's my thing. I think Shape of Water is a more artistically made film. I feel like 3 Billboards overall is a better film than Shape of Water.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I think
if I had to pick between, it's tough, but if I had to pick between the two, I might lean towards Shape of Water, but I feel like, I don't know, 3 Billboards is the better movie than Shape of Water. That's just fact, in my opinion. It's better than Shape of Water.
But then you don't think the better movie deserves
But
to
I don't
win
think Best Picture is necessarily the better movie. I know that I feel like I sound like I'm contradicting myself, but I'm saying Best Picture isn't necessarily the better movie or the best movie. Otherwise, it'd probably go to Dunkirk, right? I mean, it would go to a movie like Dunkirk, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you say? Because that's your favorite
That's
movie.
my favorite movie of that year.
But at the same time, would you give it the Oscar for Best Picture?
Well,
I don't know.
I would, but then I also wouldn't recognize it. I guess it's not for everybody. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I guess 3 Billboards is not like.
But you feel
perfectly
like 3
for every. I would.
But neither is Shape of Water.
To me, if you got the movie that best defined 2017, it would be Get Out.
100%. That's why I rooted for Get Out, and that's why I feel like Get Out 100% over 3 Billboards to be. I mean, obviously 3 Billboards didn't even win Best Picture, but I'm just saying that if I had to choose between the two, I would pick Get Out 10 times out of 10 because I feel like that defines the year more than 3 Billboards. if that makes sense. However, Three Billboards, great movie. Frances McDormand is amazing in that movie. So is Sam Rockwell. So is Woody Harrelson. So is every single cast member in that movie. It really is a super well-written, good movie.
After watching it, man, I almost kind of do think Martin McDonagh got snubbed for Best Director in that sense. Like,
I can give you that. I like the nominees that they chose, though. I like
the nominees. PTA. No, I'm
Jordan Peele.
Listen. Paul Thomas Anderson is
Christopher Nolan.
Yeah, Paul Thomas Anderson is one of my favorite filmmakers as well.
There you go.
I'm not going to discourage, but I'm just saying, like, from a director, I mean, that long take when Sam Rockwell, like, throws the dude out the window, like, that's directing.
That's the other
right
thing,
there,
too, man.
Like,
I wanted to kill Sam Rockwell's character. 5 minutes into the movie. I'm like, can I kill this guy? Yeah. I'm that dark.
Well, I'm
super dark.
You know what's funny, man, is it's a tricky situation when you talk about a movie that you like, but you don't agree with politically, or, you know, for me, it's like I have a hard time, recognizing a movie about, a racist cop. Is it a racist movie, or is it a movie about a racist? That's what Tom Boyd,
it's a movie,
our film professor, says.
It's a movie about a racist. I wouldn't say it's a racist movie necessarily. Yeah. It is a little muddy towards the end of the movie when they try and kind of give a redemption arc towards Sam Rockwell's character. I don't feel like... To be honest, man, even if Sam Rockwell was on a vigilante quest to take revenge for Frances McDormand's daughter, I would still shoot the guy if I... I'm like, I get that you're trying to do better racist cop, but you're still a racist cop, and you still... They really made it a point to say that this guy was like the scummiest of the scummiest. Like they didn't just say, racist. They said like freaking black beater. Like they called him torturer. They said torturer. They said that word like a few times. Yeah. Like if you need any other strong word, I mean, he threw a freaking guy out a window.
And that was like a cool scene though, man.
I don't feel like it was cool, man. Like the whole, I mean, I guess it was a cool scene.
Cinematically
it was cool. Yeah. But the whole time I was thinking, bro, if I were there, I would have picked up a stick and beat the shit out of him. I would have found a weapon and shot the cop. I would have claimed self-defense.
Spoilers, by the way, for Three Billboards, I guess.
Kind of. It's not really. It's like, what is it, like 30 minutes in the movie?
It was like halfway through.
Yeah, it's not a spoiler.
Man, but that was a great way, like,
it's a cool scene, but at the same time, I just don't see a guy who's like at the end of the movie when he's like, I'm sorry, man. I'm like, dude, I don't care if you're sorry, bro. Oh, man. I'm still shoot your ass, bro.
Man, but when homie came back and gave him a couple orange juice, didn't that just bring tears to your eyes, bro? Like,
yeah. He's a great actor. I love that. He's from Get Out too.
Yeah.
I forget his name. And he plays a Banshee in X-Men First Class.
Yeah. 2 Best Picture nominees that guy's in too. It's another one. Obviously, Michael Stuhlbarg's in 3, but whoever that homie is, we gotta look up his name.
Yeah, man, he's a great actor. He's Banshee. He's like super nutty too. If you hear Jordan Peele, I finally watched the Get Out director's commentary. I highly recommend it. I don't know if you've seen it, RB3, but Jordan Peele really breaks everything down. But he really made it a point to talk about that actor specifically who plays the brother of Allison Williams. Caleb Landry Jones.
Yeah, Caleb Landry Jones.
Great actor. He's I mainly know him from X-Men First Class.
X-Men First Class. Oh, he's in Twin Peaks too. Wow.
Oh, there you go.
Peaks, yeah.
Which is an awesome movie. But Jordan Peele said that he's a method actor and that he gets in character. So like the whole time while filming Get Out, he was like in character and he was like super like crazy and aggressive and like wanted to wrestle like Daniel Kaluuya and kept messing with him and stuff. And like apparently he's like a really method actor who's like he apparently did like artist stuff. Like he did like drawings of what the character would draw, and he draw like what it would feel like for him to like be inside a black body and stuff. Like he really took it method.
He's one of the Lakeith Stanfield.
Lakeith Stanfield's another method actor. Who's also in that movie and who's also super method and who's super like in a character. We saw him at Comic-Con and we got to know him a little bit. We're like, yo, this guy's really Darius from Atlanta, because Darius is crazy in Atlanta, and you're like, he's funny, he's crazy, and I'm like, oh no, he's really crazy.
Did you watch Atlanta? We talked about this
I saw the first episode of season 2.
Man. If you're not watching Atlanta,
go watch Atlanta, man.
It's violent, it's funny,
it's like, weird, it's out there, it's original. It's one of the most original shows in recent years. It really is. It really is.
Well, every cast member in there is like really taking it like to the next level when it comes to like particularly Donald Glover. He's like writing the episodes. He directed
and his brother too. His brother, I forget his brother's name.
Stephen Glover.
Stephen Glover. Yeah.
I mean, they have a really good. I mean, just the whole tone, the atmosphere,
and his Japanese director, homie.
Hiro.
Guy.
Yeah, Miki, I think is.
Yeah, who directed like almost every episode last season.
Yeah.
Except for 2, I think. Donald Glover directed 2.
Yeah. And I mean, dog, just a fantastic show. And by the way, like I love the fact that this is a show that the streets could feel, and that the film school people could get behind. Like it's just it straggles that line, man. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, it's a really authentic. For a show set in an otherverse, which it basically is, it's like a weird universe of Atlanta.
Yeah, but it is Atlanta though.
It's Atlanta, but it's also like Atlanta in a different planet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that obviously is it's a great movie. 3 Billboards is a great movie. Get Out's a great movie.
Oh, one more thing. Caleb Landry Jones. He's also in the Florida Project. He's Jack.
Oh my God, he's Willem Dafoe's son.
Yeah.
In the Florida Project.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
That guy freaking took off the year, man.
Yeah.
He deserves more stuff.
He should have been in 3 Best Picture nominees too.
He should have. Yeah. I mean, well, technically, I mean, it's not a Best Picture nominee, but it is still a nominee.
Yeah.
Should have been for Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he played his son.
Yeah.
And he's great in that. Even if 10 minutes in the movie, he's still great.
Yeah.
Because he's moving the freaking vending machine, right?
Yeah.
That guy's great. He's super great. He deserves all the attention, and he's got one of the best scenes in Get Out. So talking about MMA and judo and all that, which I appreciate.
Right.
David Rosario says, "How the heck did Shape of Water not get a nomination for Best Makeup? By the way, great show, you guys." Yeah, that was kind of weird. I was watching the Oscars with my buddies on Sunday, and we saw the nominees, and as soon as they cut to Victoria and Abdul, I really scratched my head so hard. I was like, where is the makeup in there? Right. I don't see it. Like making Judi Dench look like Judi Dench. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I'm trying to get it. I get the winner, which is 100% deserved for Gary Oldman. I still, like I said in my previous episode, I still would have preferred Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Right.
Get not only a nomination, but a win. But if anyone else is going to win between the favorites, I would have given it to Darkest Hour. So the rightful winner won out of those nominees. But Victoria and Abdul over Shape of Water? Like a nomination? Really? Victoria and Abdul? Like...
I haven't seen Victoria and Abdul. So
see the trailer. There's what makeup isn't that, bro. Like when I think of makeup, I think of Darkest Hour. I think of Wonder. I think of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I think of creature effects. I think of making something original and unique, not making people look like people.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how much of the fish creature was like physical makeup versus how much was just CGI. Like I don't know what's the distinction.
The vast majority is it's partial. It's both, but the vast majority is makeup. The eyes, the gills on the chest was CGI, but the vast majority is makeup. And obviously there is lights that glow up on his skin and stuff.
Right,
and that's CGI. Kai Gerodai says, "Hey Ace, have you seen Silent Voice yet? If so, what are your thoughts?" I haven't seen a Silent Voice. I said I was gonna watch it like 3 episodes ago, and I still haven't seen it. It's another anime film, in case you don't know, that got a lot of attention this past year. I've been fighting a lot of people. Not fighting, but like debating a lot of people about Your Name as far as it being a 2017 film. I still feel like it's a 2017 film. I don't understand the concept of releasing a movie that's internationally that I can't see, and then them saying, well, you should have seen it in 2016 when it came out. I'm like, bro, it didn't come out where I was in 2016. Therefore, it's not 2016 for me. It's 2017 for me when I saw it when it came out here. If you search Google U.S. release date for Your Name, it's a 2017 film. But technically, A Silent Voice was a 2017 film as well. I haven't seen it. I will see it. It's apparently really touching and really nice. So
cool. Do you want to take some comments from the Spike Lee episode too? Or?
Sure, yeah. If you have one, let's jump into that before we get into it.
We have one here from Alec Musila. I'm really butchering your name, homie. Sorry about that. What an episode, guys. Absolutely love the discussion, especially as someone who hails from Brooklyn. Do the Right Thing is one of my top 10 favorite films. But I was wondering, what are you guys' thoughts on Spike's on the Spike film Bamboozled, which is recently assigned to my class. Thanks for the dope work.
Yeah, Bamboozled. I haven't seen it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a very weird. It's a commentary on like Hollywood. Like it's about a TV writer who puts on blackface and trying.
That's right. You told me you didn't like that one, right?
Yeah, I think it's kind of cheesy. I think it's a little over the top. But it does go at some very relevant stuff, and it kind of came out during the time. I mean, it was just like right before like Dave Chappelle show was on TV right before. That's right. So like a lot of the sketch shows kind of incorporated a lot of. This was like In Living Color was like still on television too. So it was like at the time like of TV sketch shows. There wasn't a lot of like representation of people of color, particularly with black people. So then there was like a lot of like broad stereotypes, generalization before, like kind of during and before the era of like Jamie Foxx and like Dave Chappelle, who kind of honed their own stereotypes and made it like satirized upon itself. Other than that though, man, I don't really have much. I saw that movie a long time ago, so I'm not really 100% sure. If I can help you with your assignment, because I know you're listening to this podcast to get some help with your assignment. But no, I don't know. It's one of Spike Lee's. It's probably one of his most like undervalued films, I guess. But yeah, it's Spike Lee has a whole long list of
better films.
Of to me better films. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Want to take one more before we move on?
I like this one from Jeff C. Nexon, who writes, Next Generation of Profiles with Malone and Mance.
Hey, shout out to you, Mr. Jeff. Yeah. Appreciate that. That's high compliments.
Thank you. Yeah, we
Alicia
appreciate
Malone
that.
And Scott Mance are inspirations.
Yeah, we kind of based our show off of.
Yeah, their hashtag goals, their hashtag what inspire. They're honestly like some of my inspirations personally. Yeah, both Alicia and Scott, obviously.
Yeah, salute to Alicia for getting that full-time.
Oh yeah, congratulations to Alicia. Alicia, man, she's a sweetheart. You unfortunately didn't get a chance to work with her on the Schmoes Know show. Yeah, as much as we did. When I was on, because when I was on, Alicia was like the main host, and I got to do some shows where she actually led the show. And when Copster and Christian and Mark weren't there, which was a cool opportunity for me to see how she kind of throws down. Right. She throws down like she's smart, and she runs the show like better than I've seen almost anyone else run that show. And that's just, to me, it's just a huge testament to her. And obviously, I can't sing enough of her praises of how much I appreciate her and how much she, treated us like family and always wanted to hang out with us and never back down from just chilling or going out to Chili's back when we used to eat at Chili's. Yeah. And then Chili's got canceled.
Hey, salute to Mance too. He came on my show, see at USC. Back when I started my first semester there at USC, he actually came on the show as my guest. Salute to him for that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. That's awesome. All right, let's move on to the 90th Academy Awards. They were Sunday. They were fun. They were fast. And by really fast, fun? I mean it was slow. Yeah. And by fun, I mean it was aight. But we're going to talk about, first of all, I'm going to break this up into two sections, guys. I'm going to talk about the actual winners and the nominees and the winners between those, and then the show itself. This is kind of how I'm breaking up the show for this episode. So we're going to start out with the actual winners, the snubs, what you expected, what you didn't expect, what we liked, what we didn't like, and then we're going to get into show, the hosting, the bits, the speeches, the performances, that kind of stuff that kind of people focus on a lot too when it comes to Oscars, because Oscars go hand in hand with statements and political statements and comments and speeches. So let's start out with the winners. I don't want to talk about every winner because there's too many, and there's some that were just so obvious, like Best Actor, Gary Oldman. Yes, well deserved. Everyone knew who was going to win. Best Actress, Frances McDormand. Yes, well deserved. Everyone knew who she was going to win. Same with all the actor categories. Nothing for me to be surprised about. The one I want to start out with is the biggest one of them all because I feel like it's fun to start with the big one. Let's start out with Best Picture, man.
And the Oscar goes to... The Shape of Water.
Was Shape of Water worthy of winning Best Picture?
Worthy? I mean, sure. But I don't know if it's the best movie of the year.
Were you disappointed when you heard Shape of Water?
Well, not disappointed. I enjoyed.
You
Shape
picked
of Water
Shape
a
of
lot.
Water too.
Yeah, I picked Shape of Water. I mean, it's a
because
safe
it's
pick.
the safe pick. It's a favorite.
That's kind of the theme throughout this entire Oscars night. I was like, everything was a safe pick.
This is one of the safest Oscars I've seen in a long time. Well, a lot of people are gonna be like, "Well, Jordan Peele won," and I get it.
Nah,
That's
but you
cool.
could totally predict that though from a mile away.
I agree. Some people didn't agree. I saw a lot of tweets being like, "Whoa, I can't believe Jordan Peele won. This is so surprising. I thought it was gonna be Martin McDonagh," and I'm like, "Nah, Jordan Peele was gonna win that for sure." But for me, almost every single winner was kind of safe in this Oscar, and that's kind of sad, including Shape of Water, which is probably the most celebratory Oscar film out of the Best Picture nominees.
Yeah,
would you agree with that?
in terms of like
this is like a Hollywood
exactly.
Hollywood movie kissing
his own ass,
kissing themselves in the face on a Hollywood movie stage.
We get this every year, Ace. Every year we can't have a Best Picture winner without it being a love letter or whatever to what was it? The Artist. What was it? Artist, Argo. And then we skipped the year when we had 12 Years a Slave, an actual movie. Then we go back to Birdman. Then we have Spotlight, I guess, and then we're back again.
Even Spotlight is so Oscar baity, though. I love Spotlight. I was one of the few people. I chose it to win, and I like that movie, but that's an Oscar baity movie.
It's
man.
Oscar baity, but it's not like a cinema.
Sure.
Cinema. Then last year we almost had the La La Land thing. But
I still want La La Land to win, bro. Yeah. I'm gonna travel back in time and make La La Land win.
Yeah, man.
I love that movie.
La La Land was a great movie, man.
Yeah, I prefer La La Land way over Shape of Water.
Yeah, that's the thing too, man. There's not like a heated passion behind this Oscar season.
It really isn't.
There wasn't like a big duel like last year, La La Land versus Moonlight. There was that year where it was 12 Years a Slave versus Gravity, Birdman versus Boyhood. Like very passionate, like head up debates. This one was like, Shape of Water. And then not Get Out, it was like,
how cool wouldn't it have been if Get Out won, man? It would have been so cool. Everyone would have been so happy. Yeah. It's the movie that most people have seen and enjoy. It's both audience accepted and critic accepted.
By far the biggest grossing out of all.
Biggest grossing one. It just, to me, it's such a missed opportunity, man. I love Guillermo del Toro, and I just liked Shape of Water. I didn't think it was that great. I didn't even have it in my top 10. You did. Yeah. Because I just felt like it was fine. It was a fine movie. It's more of a performance movie for me. The story just didn't hit. I never bought the love story between this fish creature and Sally Hawkins. I just never bought it. I just never. I still feel like he's a stray puppy who, like, you feel really bad for it because he's getting electrocuted. And I'm like, I would save him too, but I wouldn't have sex with him. I mean, damn, that's like another level, man. And it just lost me. I was like, I can't buy into this, man. And then the whole musical thing too, with him dancing around.
Yeah, that was when that's when I drew a line in the sand.
Yeah, it was I would have preferred them to have a more daring pick, a more generally well-liked movie, but then like Get Out.
Yeah. I mean, Get Out's probably the most universally loved out of the Best Picture nominees.
But it's also the most relevant movie of 2017. It's also the most well-written movie of 2017, according to the Oscars. It's also the movie that defined the year as a whole, as far as on the political atmosphere as well. And it's also, honestly, out of all the Best Picture nominees, it's the best movie out of the Best Picture nominees, in my opinion. It's the most well-rounded movie, where you could say Dunkirk is probably the most technical movie, but it's not very story-filled at all. And even you can agree with that, and you love Dunkirk. But it doesn't have a story, man. Like, to me, Get Out was the best movie of those Best Picture nominees, and it's just a disappointment for them to not give it the award and to make... It wouldn't even be a lot of people... I feel like people are overusing Get Out as a political statement. I feel like Moonlight was way more of a political statement. Get Out is just a damn good movie. It's just a good movie. Just take out the whole political atmosphere of it, and it's just good.
But then, to me, though, if you're measuring Moonlight versus Get Out, Like to me, Moonlight is not even in the competition.
It's not even.
Moonlight 10 times better than Get Out.
Dude, Moonlight wasn't even that great. It just wasn't.
Nah, come on, man. But I mean, like in terms of a cinematic, in terms of art, like artistic, and again, you know, Jordan Peele's his first first horror movie that he's doing, exploring outside of the comedy genre. So I give him credit for making such a beloved movie, making such a powerful statement piece. That being said, Moonlight is like an artistic, you know, is leveled, is complex, is got like a whole lot of deeper like implications in terms of character and all that stuff. Like to me, that's my problem. Like our La La Land of this year is nowhere near our La La Land being Shape of Water this year is nowhere near as good as La La Land. Our Moonlight of this year, which is Get Out, is nowhere near as good as Moonlight. I
disagree wholehearedly. I think Moonlight is a sad personal story. Get Out is a genre-defying, freaking breaking stereotypes, breaking norms, creating a different type of horror movie that so many people can enjoy and so many people can get something out of. Get Out is the type of movie that I saw it with my mom, and it's one of the best movie watching experiences I've ever had with my mom. And that's saying something, because watching The Force Awakens with my mom, watching Coco with my mom, and watching Get Out with my mom is the 3 times that I was just like, she was on the edge of her seat. She was confused about the plot line. She was into it. She was trying to get into the sci-fi thriller, horror, romance, heartwarming tale. Like Moonlight doesn't even touch Get Out. Moonlight is just a really sad story.
But I mean, I'm talking about like from like cinematography, from editing, from like, you know, from characters, from acting. Like you don't think that Moonlight was the better made movie before Get Out?
No,
oh, man,
I just don't.
I don't know.
Maybe cinematography, but that's it. I mean, I would give it cinematography. I would give it editing. Everything else, story, no.
Listen, would I watch
character? No.
Would I watch?
Chris is one of the most likable characters I've ever seen in a movie.
But
I wanted Chris to get out so bad that I was literally screaming like Heath Stanfield, get out!
True, I agree.
I didn't feel that in Moonlight.
But does Chris have the same kind of complexity, the same kind of dual, you know, conflict inside going on internally as Chiron from?
For the amount of backstory that you get from Chris versus the amount of like an hour and a half backstory that you get from Chiron, yes. The entire movie of Moonlight is his backstory. Yeah. It's literally his whole life. So that's an unfair comparison versus a 15-minute scene of Chris expressing his life story, and I'm on verge of tears, bro. In 15 minutes versus 2 hours of Moonlight.
Listen, would I watch Moonlight again? Probably not. Would I watch Get Out any night of the week? Sure. It's a more fun movie. I
don't think it's even more fun. I think it's the better movie. I even think it's the better artistically made movie.
Nah, dog.
Come on, man. You're tripping, bro. I saw Moonlight with you, and you thought it was okay.
I thought Moonlight was, but you know what?
You were like, bro, that movie was okay.
I thought that shit, when I left the first time, I was like, man, that shit was too artsy-fartsy. That shit was like trying too hard.
You told me. What? I said Mahershala Ali was the best part of that movie.
Yeah.
And he was the best part. And he's in it for 5 minutes.
Oh, he's in it for more.
Or 20 minutes.
30 minutes.
20 minutes.
Like, no. Well, I will say though, like again, you're right. In terms of an entertainment
it's not even
factor,
it's not even entertainment.
Factor,
it's not even enjoyable.
I totally agree. Get Out's the better movie, but from an artistic, from a cinematic, from characters, from acting, from story, from just powerful the way it connects with people. I don't know, man. I say Moonlight. Moonlight was. You know, we shouldn't compare. We shouldn't even compare these two. They're totally different.
They're totally different, but I totally disagree.
I don't know.
I really feel like Moonlight was just. I thought La La Land was way better than Moonlight. La La Land was just a much better film, in my opinion. But let's just move on, because this is going to be a whole different conversation.
Well, I think we can agree in terms of Best Picture nominees. There's some of these you could kind of take out. I don't know what
I would put Blade Runner 2049 in here.
All right. I don't know about all that. I'll put like I, Tanya before that. I'll put Florida Project above getting a Best Picture nomination over. To me, I finally saw Darkest Hour, man.
Darkest Hour is baller, bro. Gangster. Man, that movie's really? Gangster.
Wait, come on, man. You talk about a movie being boring.
Darkest Hour. Darkest Hour was the shit. That movie was awesome.
I don't know, man.
That movie was awesome.
That shit put me to sleep in like
no.
the entire like
Winston
hour,
Churchill trying to battle Hitler, bro, and he's at like freaking the edge of his freaking army. Everyone's dying all around him, and everyone's calling him crazy, and they're saying that they have to surrender to Hitler, and he can't take the image of Nazi flags flying over the UK out of his head. That's just deep shit, bro. I love that movie so much. I was like, bro, there comes a time and a place where you just have to like stare Hitler in the face and be like, not today, Hitler, not today. And I felt that in that movie. I was like, man, this is some deep stuff. Where when he's in that subway and he's like talking to all those people, I felt that, man. And I know that's so Oscar baity, but I felt that scene. I was just like, man, this is some dope shit. It's some dope shit.
I don't know, man.
Oh, come on, man.
I just can't, dog. That shit,
I can't.
That shit put me to sleep. No. I woke up halfway through the movie. Shit, had near an hour to go. Oh man, I was in torture.
Why are you sleeping in the movie?
Dog, I tried.
You gotta pay attention,
dog. I tried. I even gave it a second watch, dog. I don't know, man. To me, it was like, and they shot it so darkly, so like you could hide the makeup effects. Like, I don't know, man. It wasn't for me.
Darkest Hour was dope.
That shit was. I don't know. It's not even Gary Oldman's best performance. They should have gave him an Oscar for True Romance or Fifth Element.
but it's still the best performance of the year.
Sid and Nancy.
I think it's the best performance.
I don't even think it's better than Daniel Day-Lewis.
I think it's better than.
I don't even think it's better.
I think it's not a lot better, but it's slightly better than Daniel Day. Not a lot better, but slightly better than Daniel Day. I still feel like Vicky Krieps went toe to toe with Daniel Day. She stole the movie, man. And if anyone steals a movie from Daniel Day shouldn't win the Oscar.
Here's what I'll say though. You know, we have footage of like Winston Churchill. We have audios recording of Winston Churchill. So Gary Oldman had a point of reference to build his character around.
Daniel Day's character is an original character.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he's able to make that character feel fully fleshed out. I think that's completely through nuances, if anything, like facial expressions, through like little ticks and movements.
I can debate you on that, man. If anything, it makes it more difficult to imitate a legendary British icon. That's even harder to do. As everyone knows how Winston Churchill moves and acts. We even had a point of reference in The Crown, which won, John Lithgow a freaking Emmy, because everyone has an expectation of what Churchill is. If anything, Gary Oldman was at an unfair disadvantage. That's even harder to overcome, especially after following John Lithgow, which everyone loved in The Crown.
I don't think any Oscar voters watched The Crown.
Oh, you kidding me? The Crown's their shit. That freaking show was amazing.
I don't know what the ratings are.
The Crown is amazing, and it's one of the most watched shows on Netflix.
I still haven't watched The Crown. Maybe that's just me. But to Darkest Hours, look, to me it was like I knew the movie was getting washed when like halfway through I'm just thinking, man, what scene from Dunkirk would just fit right in here? Like I want to see a cut of somebody putting Darkest Hour and Dunkirk. You
want to hear controversy?
What's that?
You want to hear some controversy? Darkest Hour is a better film than Dunkirk.
Oh, get the
Darkest Hour is a better film than Dunkirk, bro.
See you guys later.
Come on, man. The damn squeaking table's calling you back.
Man, my bad. No, I don't know, man. It's just I don't know, from like an entertainment I don't know, man. I didn't feel the Darkest Hour.
Did you see all the nominees?
Yeah, I saw every single one.
Honestly, man, to be fair, and I know we're playing devil's advocate a little bit, but to be fair, all the nominees were pretty solid. Phantom Thread, Lady Bird were in your top 10.
Yeah. Most of them were. I'd probably say in terms of like
The Post was whatever.
Oh, The Post was great. Did you see The Post?
Darkest Hour? I didn't see it.
Oh yeah, I see The Post.
Call Me by Your Name you liked. I didn't see it. What would you take out, man? I mean, at this point, it's like, besides Darkest Hour, what would you take out?
Take out Darkest Hour. I mean, I love The Post. I don't know if it's, I don't know. What are the other nominations? What are the other nominations? Let's see here. I just, my point is like, I, Tonya should have gotten a slot. Coco should have gotten a slot.
But what do you take out? You got to take something out.
I'm definitely taking out Darkest Hour. What are the nominees? We're the Call Me by Your Name, of course. I'll probably take out The Post over. Probably over I'll put Coco in over The Post, definitely.
I don't know, man. I feel like
the Florida Project in probably over like anything.
I feel like the nominees were pretty solid. I don't feel like they were the best, but I feel like they were solid. The only other one I would probably put in there would probably be Blade Runner 2049. I feel like that's the only other movie I could put in there other than anything else. But let's move on because otherwise we're going to take forever and talk about everything else.
And the Oscar goes to Jordan Peele, Get Out.
The other big the other big one was Jordan Peele for original screenplay. Yeah. That was a big moment just because I felt like that's the one win Get Out got. And that's the one win that everyone expected. And that's the one win that was very, very well deserved. I'm super happy about it. Mm-hmm. I mean, Jordan Peele, surpassed expectations as far as what he could accomplish. And, big shout outs to him for accomplishing that.
Yeah, I think definitely out of the original screenplay nominees, this is probably far and away the best. Although Lady Bird, I kind of, there's a little piece of me that would have been happy with Lady Bird winning, only because it didn't win anything else in the night. I mean, what else was nominated? It
was Three Billboards was in there too.
Three Billboards, yeah, that one could have won too.
It was, wasn't the Big Sick nominated too?
The Big Sick was up there as well.
But Get Out was the better.
Get Out's the best. I think Get Out in terms from screenplay.
It's super well deserved, and shout out to Jordan Peele coming from Key and Peele, one of my favorite comedy shows in recent years that I've quoted and I've loved and I've talked about for years. And he makes an Oscar-winning script that everyone adores. So shout out to him.
Did you see that photo of Jordan Peele and Keegan-Michael Key hugging? It's a beautiful.
That's
image.
Really cool, man. Yeah, that's super cool. Keegan-Michael Key's like, damn, I gotta step up my game.
Yeah,
I gotta step it up.
Yeah, get to the Oscar level.
Let's jump over to visual effects, which a lot of people had a controversy with, including RB3. Yeah. And this is what we gonna debate, bruh.
And the Oscar goes to Blade Runner 2049, John Nelson, Jared Nipser, Paul Lambert, and Richard R. Hoover.
Blade Runner 2049 won. I picked War for Planet of the Apes for winning because I thought it was going to win. However, I made it very clear in our episode that the winner should be Blade Runner 2049. And the winner that won was a winner that should have won. Blade Runner 2049 deserved that Oscar for visual effects. I understand the accomplishments that motion capture has, that performance capture has, in creating a creature to be so human-like and for you to feel emotion for it. But Blade Runner 2049 had that perfect, seamless effect of visual effects and production design, which it established so well within that movie. The production design in that movie and the visual effects in that movie coincide so much that I do believe the year is 2049 in Los Angeles, California. It feels like that in the movie, and that is 1000% credit to the visual effects team in Blade Runner 2049. Mic drop moment. Here we go.
Yeah, man. I 150% disagree with you on
Oh, come on, man.
I think
come on,
the visual effects in Blade Runner 2049 are alright, but I think the original 1982 Blade Runner looks a lot better, will hold up a lot better than the way the new Blade
Runner
I
1000% disagree.
The scene where he's like flying through LA is cool.
It looks dope.
Come on, man. You know that shit was made in the computer. And I know they use miniatures and they blended miniatures and
so was
and
Planet
CGI,
of the Apes, bro.
But CGI, but this is my thing. For the Planet of the Apes franchise, ever since Rise, Dawn, and now War for Planet of the Apes, all three of them deserved best visual effects. Every year they're nominated. Making a CGI computer-generated ape using motion capture, revitalizing the game when it comes to motion capture. Because at that point, all we really have for point of reference was Gollum. But now War for Planet of the Apes established. It's so influential what the Planet of the Apes franchise has done. The new Kong movie takes the same kind of techniques and the same technology, and that gets nominated for his own Academy Award. So I feel like The Last Jedi using Snoke, the Andy Serkis, and
that's Andy Serkis too.
Yeah, you have to recognize Andy Serkis for what he's contributed.
I agree. Andy Serkis deserves all the credit. I just feel like you're right. Rise, Dawn deserved the awards when it was nominated. I don't think Rise was nominated, but I know
Rise was nominated. That lost to Hugo.
And then Dawn lost to Ex Machina, right?
No, Dawn lost to Interstellar.
Okay, okay, I agree. Dawn should have beat Interstellar, and Rise should have beat Hugo. Blade Runner beating what is it? War? Beating War is where they. This is the one time that I feel like if anything is gonna beat Planet of the Apes, as far as technology for visual effects, it's Blade Runner 2049.
You're talking about most CGI? Sure, Blade Runner, yeah. But
that's
CGI?
That's credit, though. I mean, making a world made out of CGI, that's difficult to do, man. That's hard to do.
Difficult, but
making it so seamless is difficult to do. Making it combining.
I don't think it's all that seamless though, man.
It's 1000% seamless.
The computer girlfand,
that looked amazing.
The whole scene where her and the other
that is what won it the Oscar. That looked incredible.
I think that looks like shit, and I don't know.
Dude.
I don't know. I don't get it.
If you guys know visual effects out there in the comment section, please comment right now how wrong RB3 is right now.
It probably did look okay, but you could have whatever. But War Planet of the Apes. Listen, you got.
I'm with you.
You have gigantic armies of apes, and it looks real. And by the way, you know, we as humans, you know, we have it's the whole thing of like uncanny valley, right?
Sure.
Like when we are so familiar with the way something looks, it's harder for it to look realistic.
Sure.
That being said, you know, those Planet of the Apes movies could really toe the line of Uncanny Valley, where we're just really thrown off by them. But it's so seamless, it's so detailed, down to the tiny little wrinkles on the close-ups on their faces, the eyes. Most motion capture, most performance capture can't even get the eyes right. That's one thing that War for Planet of the Apes does. In terms of a character-driven piece that utilizes the visual effects as this element to drive the story, War for Planet of the Apes is definitely the better movie for me.
All right.
And better visual effects.
That's a fair argument. I'll take it, even though Blade Runner 2049 deserved it. Let's talk about Kobe.
Yes!
So Kobe won an Oscar, and this is some bullshit.
Whoa.
No, I'm kidding. I mean, Dear Basketball was dope. I'll give you that. But to be fair, man, how is Kobe going to lose an Oscar in L.A. with all the voters being from Hollywood and him being a Lakers legend? He's not gonna lose that, man.
Hey, man.
This is some Kobe bias right here.
Hey, man, I love Kobe.
Kobe bias.
Kobe's the man. Kobe's the greatest of all time. I changed my Twitter header, my background to the Dear Basketball because it's just such a powerful film.
On, man.
The animation is beautiful. Have you seen it? They aired it on TV during his. They aired it on the TV during his retirement thing.
Yeah,
right?
his retirement.
Yeah. Or I'm sorry, when they
retired his jersey.
Retired his jersey.
Yeah.
Just beautiful animation, beautiful story. John Williams at the score.
Yeah, I mean it's a really well done animation. All I'm saying is that all the voters are from Hollywood. Hollywood is LA. Lakers is LA. Yeah. All I'm saying is he had if there was a Dear Steve Nash. I mean, and all the voters were from Phoenix. Guess what? Steve Nash is gonna win. So,
hey, LA baby. LA.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's biased. This is some biased shit, bro. This is some biased shit. Hey. If I were the freaking animator of the other shorts, I would have been like, "This is some bullshit, bro."
Hey, man.
I've been an animator my whole life, and this freaking Kobe guy comes in here and takes it from me, as if he's like hitting a freaking game-winning shot in a freaking Game 7 of a freaking NBA Finals, bro.
Hey, man. Hey, it's moving, dog, and you know it's a nice love letter to kids. You know, kids from the hood could watch something like Dear Basketball and become inspired. So I'm all for it.
Let's jump over to cinematography.
And the Oscar goes to Roger A. Deakins, Blade Runner 2049.
Shout out to Roger Deakins, finally winning an Oscar for Blade Runner 2049. 1,000% well-deserved. He got nominated 14 times, finally got a win. This guy's been in the game forever. I mean, the movies he shot, man. I know he shot Skyfall. He shot No Country for Old Men. He shot, what else did he shoot? He shot a ton of movies.
Yeah, Shawshank Redemption. All the Coen Brothers films. He just has a story. Most recently, all the Denis Villeneuve.
That's pictures. Right. He shot Sicario. Yeah, Sicario is beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy is a true master. He's a true artist. He's a true visionary. He is one of the greatest DPs I've been a part of, enjoying all his movies. And it really is a joy to see someone that you recognize his work on a truly visual scale, and it finally gets appreciated. If you know what that means, right?
Yeah.
Where film is such a visual medium, and we focus on the story, on the script, on the characters, on the acting. But when it comes to the visuals, as far as like DP work, we kind of, unless it's super impressive, we kind of don't take notice. Same with like a score. If the score isn't super impressive, we don't take notice. And that's why someone like Roger Deakins is like a John Williams, where his work is super noticeable and it is super beautiful. Like John Williams with making his scores. So I really do feel like Roger Deakins is up there as one of the greatest Hollywood icons of all time, not just cinematographers, just icons in general.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, this is something that was long in the making. He has a plethora of great work. He's had a much longer streak of not winning than like DiCaprio or whatever. So I'm, it's really, again, I don't like Blade Runner 2049. I kind of hate it. By the way,
How can you hate? See, I know I get you, man, but when you say hate, like, hate is like Transformers: The Last Night. Hate is like the Emoji Movie. Hate is Justice League. But Blade Runner 2049? Yeah. I mean, it didn't live up to your expectations. It didn't impress you the way you wanted to be impressed. But hate, bro? Really?
Yeah, man.
Like, I mean, if it were Transformers, I'd get you. If it were Monster Trucks, sure. Or Justice League. I mean, I'm going to keep saying Justice League. What? Hey, 2049? I don't get that, man. I will never understand that.
Listen,
never. I will never understand that.
I think a large part of it. Well, not a large part of it, but a lot of people even like tweet me like, every time you talk about Blade Runner, you have a different reason for not liking it. Of course, because I don't like it for a lot of reasons. But one of the big parts of it is because of like, what's the point of making a sequel 35 years later if you're just gonna make the same movie over again? You know what I mean?
But
like,
he didn't make
same
the same
thematic through line, and you're just gonna remake the movies that like inspired it later on. You're just gonna remake her. You're gonna remake, it. Why does it have the same exact ending as The Dark Knight Rises?
Bro, not everyone.
Why does it have the exact same ending or the exact same twist as Talia al Ghul in The Dark Knight Rises with the lady chick from or the chick from from
Maureen Cotillard.
Yeah, and the chick from Blade Runner. Her whole story.
You talking about Love?
Yeah, where like the girl who made the memories or whatever, and it turns out that I don't want to spoil the ending.
Oh, you're talking about
that
yeah,
and the whole misplaced memories, and it's even shot the same way, even skinhead still. So I don't know. After Blade Runner, we got movies like Terminator, we got movies like Her, we got movies from like all these different genres that take from Blade Runner, expand on the themes of Blade Runner. This movie just does it all again and puts it. I would have liked to see it move in a new direction.
It does it all again and it puts it in a Blade Runner movie. That to me is baller. Baller.
We're not moving. It's not moving the culture forward.
But to be honest, man,
science fiction.
I just saw Her last year, man. I gotta tell you, man, not everyone's. I love Her, but I'm saying like, not everyone's seen Her, bro.
And not everybody's seen Blade Runner.
That's true. That's true.
Nobody's seen
but
Blade
more
Runner
people have seen
2049.
Blade Runner 2049 than Her, man.
Hey, nah, but that doesn't matter to me. Look, I saw Her, all right, and to me, her handles the material of the computer girlfriend actually being just an illusion, a creation of the whatever. It handles that a lot better. To me, the whole like it doesn't even have like the same like noir elements. The production design. I mean, I know you like the production design of Blade Runner.
The production design is, dude. Don't
listen,
shit on the.
Listen,
whoa.
You look at the movie.
Talk about that story, but don't talk about that production design. That production design is flawless.
Listen, you look at the original Blade Runner. There's not an inch of that of any frame that isn't like covered or filled up.
Same with this one.
No. The way Denis Villeneuve directed this movie, it's a lot of empty spaces, a lot of like blank slates, a lot of just wide shots of nothing.
You're just shitting on Roger Deakins for making one of the most beautifully.
I'm not shitting on Roger Deakins.
Yes,
no,
you are.
I'm saying no. The composition is cool. The colors is cool. The lighting is impeccable. I'm saying from like a production design, from just what's filling the screen, it's empty, and like I don't connect that to the same level as I connect to one of my favorite movies, Blade Runner. And that goes to another point. There's the camera.
Dang, bro. I mean, you're more salty than a prequel than a guy who just saw the prequels after seeing the original trilogy.
This movie's 3 hours. The original Blade Runner is like 1 hour 53 or something like that. Much tighter, moves a lot faster than this one. There's literally a scene where Ryan Gosling's like looking for an egg or whatever for like 15 minutes.
That's a dope scene.
The camera doesn't move. There's no life to it. You watch, and how can you even compare Jared Leto to what Rutger Hauer did in the original?
Jared Leto's awesome in this movie.
Compared to the original Rutger Hauer, just the life he brought to that. You go back and watch that scene where he kills the homie. Where Roy Batty kills the other homie who created.
You can't even think of the name, bro.
No.
Fake Blade
Tyrell,
Runner fan.
when he kills Tyrell in his house, and then like the way the camera moves, it's almost like a long take, and the camera like changes, and you kind of get like different kind of framings within the long take. There's none of that in Blade Runner, man. There's no life to it. There's no energy to it.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
It feels like Denis Villeneuve was he made the movie he wanted to make, and salute to him for making that. And again, I think from a visual standpoint is great, from a sound standpoint is great. But But even from an editing standpoint, there's moments where like there's conversations that's happening between characters, and I'm like, wow, that's really cut together in a weird way. I think if the music wasn't here, I don't know how that'll fit. Seems like Hans Zimmer fell asleep on the whatever on the synthesizer. There's a lot of things I don't like about it, man. But hey, salute to people who like it. Go ahead, and I'm so sick of people whenever I tweet about Blade Runner, they act like it's a new opinion. How are you just not hating Blade Runner? Like, no, I've hated it since the day it came out. I maybe didn't hate it initially, but then again, watching it again and again, I'm trying to.
I will never understand that, man. I just will never, especially after. I mean, dude, I'm telling you, man. After watching movies that are like giant piles of like Tyrannosaurus shit, like Justice League. I'm never gonna let you down, bro.
Yo, Warner
you
Brothers.
Release the Snyder Cut, bro. Hashtag release the Snyder Cut. Like, after seeing a movie like that and seeing what a giant piece of shit that Warner Brothers took on a beautiful franchise and on a genius of a man named Zack Snyder, and seeing Blade Runner, I'm like, Blade Runner is a work of art compared to something like Justice League. I don't know. I'm gonna move on, bro. Let's move on to documentary winner.
If you want to get more of my Blade Runner hot takes, I did a whole podcast with Beardo about it when we talked about Blade Runner. Go ahead and check that out. But if you
thanks for the invite, Beardo.
Tweet me, and we're gonna have a nice discussion online about it.
Yeah, we'll see about that. I don't know about nice discussion. My favorite win of the night, man. One of my favorite wins of the night. 1000% goes to Icarus.
Oh yes.
I literally, you saw me retweet this.
Yes.
I freaking found my rant on the Schmoes live show back in September when I was ranting about. I saw this movie when it came out in August, but I went on the Schmoes Live podcast and I ranted about it, about how amazing this movie is. This movie's so freaking good. It is one of the best documentaries I've seen in years. It's so eye-opening, and when people don't understand, and it gets me kind of, it doesn't get me upset, but it gets me frustrated for people who don't get sports. People think, because this is a film community, so a lot of people in the film community don't cross over in the sports community. I know we do. I know people like Mark Ellis does, people like Christian Harloff does. We cross over with sports really well. But there's a lot of people in the film community who don't get sports. John Schnapp, Bibiani, they don't get sports. Like, the sports isn't them. And I get that. But this isn't about sports. This documentary isn't. The backdrop is sports. The premise is sports. But what it's about nationalism. It's about cover-ups. It's about conspiracy. It's about the KGB. It's about you taking advantage of a system that has been implemented for so many years and cheating on the system in order to prove a bigger point about who has the biggest international dick. It is just so amazing the way Russia will go to these lengths for a freaking weightlifting competition or for a cycling competition. If they're willing to go this far to cheat, to get rid of urine samples, to do all this stuff when it comes to Olympic sports, imagine what they're willing to do when it comes to government conspiracies, when it comes to U.S. elections.
Oh, no, fuck. I knew it.
Am I right or dude?
This is a much bigger discussion. I feel like
you don't agree with me.
I agree with you. I agree, but I don't think Russia played a part into like hacking our election. No, like
you don't. Dude, freaking Trump admitted it on Twitter, bro.
Nah, man. With the Robert Mueller put out a whole report saying nothing from the Trump administration influenced.
I'm not saying that. But the fact is, they did make an actual social media push to get Trump elected president. That's just fact.
I think Twitter trolls. That's Twitter trolls, though. You know what I mean? Like,
but it's Russian created Twitter trolls.
They're memes. They're tweeting memes. I don't think
they're tweeting articles. They're tweeting fake articles. They're tweeting campaigns. Have you seen
fake news? Yes, the fake news. Yes, that's true.
Russia.
But I think there's more. There's American institutions that are tweeting fake news too.
Absolutely. I'm not saying there isn't.
We have American journalists. We have fucking. I mean, I hate to be the guy who's like shitting on like mainstream media or whatever, because I'm not normally that guy, but like
I'm not talking about mainstream media, bro. Yeah. I'm talking about what Russia actively does. And what Russia actively does is, dude, have you seen Icarus?
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
okay.
I agree. No, I agree
Russia,
with you when it comes to
if Russia is willing to inject themselves with steroids and then throw away the pee samples and hire freaking agents to get rid of pee samples, I'm pretty sure they're willing to do some gnarly ass shit when it comes to political elections, whether it be their political elections, whether it be our political elections, whether it be anything else when it comes to government conspiracy or when it comes to government in general. Russians go hard, man. I love the Russian people, man. I know Russian people here in LA, and I think they're badass. I love the Russians. I'm just saying that Russians go hard. They go freaking hard, and that's what this documentary is all about. It's all about what is the extent you're willing to go when it comes to athletics, to prove a point, to prove that I'm better than you when it comes to running up that hill. If they're willing to prove a point that much and they're willing to cheat to get there, then they're willing to prove a point in other areas in the international elections. That's all I'm saying. I trust me, dude. I'm more on your side than you think.
Yeah. No, I know you are. Yeah.
Because I'm not this weird, like, super left person who's like, oh, blah blah blah. Russia did it. Russia's don't. No, part of it was Hillary too. Let's just be honest. Let's just be real. A lot of it was Hillary. But I'm just saying that when it comes to this documentary is about nationalism, and how far nationalism is going. Yeah. And if you're willing to prove a point by trying to lift more weights than me, then you're gonna prove a point by doing other things. This documentary is flawless. It's beautiful. I'm so happy it won. Go on my Twitter at Squad Leader Race to see why.
Yeah. No, Icarus is definitely. I mean, I called it when we did the.
You did call it, and I said it wasn't gonna win because I didn't think it was gonna win. I thought people were gonna love the French lady director, Faces Places.
Agus Verdes, salute to her though, man. Oldest nominee of all time, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh no way! I thought that was Christopher Plummer.
I think for
actor.
Yeah,
that's probably what it was.
Christopher Plummer, I think, is for acting, but
I
think Agus Verdes is like over 90 years old or something like that.
Got it.
But yeah, great. And Faces Places is a great film. Icarus was my personal favorite documentary of the year last year.
It's beautiful.
And I think it deserved. But Faces Places is also great as well. I definitely thought the election stuff played a pan into why it won. The belief of, the interference and all that kind of stuff. And, Hollywood likes to give middle fingers to like real life politics. But to be fair, man, like I get you're saying that, but watching this movie and watching everything that doctor went through and all that shit, Russia put the middle finger on themselves, man. Like they really, like, if you don't want to have someone put the middle finger up at you, then don't cheat. You see what I'm saying? Like, if you don't, it's like, oh, well, come on, man. What do you mean, come on, man? They cheated. If you don't want to be called out, then don't cheat, bro. Yeah.
That simple.
And my only thing, man, I'm just scared of this whole, like, red scare thing, like, becoming, like, much bigger than it, like, actually should be.
Sure.
And I think we keep pushing, if we keep pushing narratives, like, of like this interference or whatever, we're going to go to a place of war that we don't want to go to.
Sure.
I think ultimately, like, ultimately we're in a tricky place now where if Trump defends Russia and says, hey, it's not really that big of a deal, people are going to attack him for being, you're Putin's puppet, this and that. But if he actively tries to raise aggression with Russia, we're going to end up in World War III. We're not in a good position with it. But that being said, I mean, I enjoy Icarus as a documentary. And you're right, there's definitely a strong sense of nationalism that exists throughout that film. And I think that does play into what we're seeing in like real life, whether that be interference or not. What I think is just person like Twitter trolling and whatnot, or social media, or putting out fake news.
Please keep in mind the intelligence of the American people. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I give people a lot of credit. Maybe I shouldn't, but I think a lot of Americans can tell when just a meme is a meme or or fake news.
Have you seen Fox News?
You're right.
Come on, man. Let's be real, bro.
You did.
Let's be real, man.
Yeah.
Come on.
My only thing is I become worrisome of like just people shitting on independent media in general, and I think that really the best way to get news today is through independent media. You just have to find reliable sources to get your news from. I definitely think the fake news is a big problem, but I think there's also a lot of fake news that happens from mainstream media too. So we just have to, I feel like we have to, like, as Americans and as, people who want to avoid war, we should tread carefully when it comes to this kind of stuff. We should definitely call out the fake news. We should definitely call out the Russian trolls.
Have you seen House of Cards?
Yeah.
Have you seen all 4 seasons?
Yeah.
My point made.
Yeah.
This is literally a narrative in House of Cards.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Where Kevin Spacey's what is his name? Underwood? Kevin Underwood?
Yeah.
Not Kevin Underwood.
Frank Underwood.
Frank Underwood literally does this. He literally gets social media trolls to help win his campaign. As a way to like create narratives and create little stories and create little fake stories and little hashtags. And that shit works, bro. That
true.
shit works.
It's true.
That shit works.
I mean, you know, I think there's definitely a case to be made with that. But wasn't it something like?
But I do agree with you. I feel like that's blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
I feel like the presidency was one. Sure, Russia had a hand as far as like, you know, creating little narratives and shit. But at the end of the day, Trump won because Trump won. Trump won because he had a base that supported him more than Hillary's base. Trump won because Hillary had burned more bridges than she built. Trump won because he related with more people than Hillary did.
He went populist with his stuff, and even though he lied about it, that's what got him elected.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, obviously Trump is a big part of last night's show.
I want to get into it. Let's
Yeah.
get into it right now. Let's talk about politics. Let's talk about Oscars. Oscars will always have some sort of political statement. Will always have some sort of statement in general, whether you like it or not. If you don't get that, then you have never seen the Oscars before. So I recommend you tune out of watching the Oscars because you probably got a dose of it on Sunday. So let's talk about that because you texted me the other day and you even tweeted this out. You said that you think they went too far as Trump bashing. I didn't see it, but maybe I'm blind. I don't know, because I'm usually on your side when it comes to too far right, too far left, because I feel like sometimes, let's face it, Hollywood goes a little too far left. What are you talking about? What do you feel as far as on Sunday night's award show for the Oscars that they did too much Trump bashing?
Well, it's just, I mean, I don't think it's, I'm not saying it's too much Trump bashing.
Well, that's what you said on Twitter. You said that they bashed Trump too much.
Well, they're making too many jokes about it. I think if you want it, you don't give the guy attention if you
What
really
jokes
don't
did
like
they
him,
make?
man. Well, I mean, the whole opening monologue was like Mike Pence, Trump, fucking,
What specifically though?
Hold on, let me pull up this specific jokes because I pretty much tuned out after I heard a couple of. But here's my thing, man. I'm so sick of movies and TV shows feeling that, you know, they have to relate to real world politics. So, let's talk about Trump. You know what I mean? And you know, if you really feel about a certain type of way about it, make sure that you have like a platform in the base that's actually about policy and not about, you know, tone policing. What he says is, you know, or whatever.
What do you mean?
You know, you're gonna keep ragging on the guy for, you know, his affairs with like Stormy Daniels, or, you know, like,
Was that mentioned on Sunday?
Well, I don't think it was mentioned, but like I'm just talking about in general.
Well, I'm talking about Sunday, bro.
Oh, particularly on Sunday, yeah, sure. I feel like yes, you know, you're right. There wasn't a lot of like him, but it's more of like tone policing him as far as like, oh, you might be racist. Oh, you're not saying things that make me feel good about, you know, Hollywood or whatever. Like they keep going to the Meryl Streep thing for like it's like the low hanging fruit. You know what I mean? They're going for like the most obvious jokes like Hollywood would have towards Trump. Like the whole thing of like, oh, Lupita Nyong'o was born in Mexico but raised in Kenya. That means she'll be a perfect subject for Trump's like Twitter or something like that. You know what I mean? Like that's stupid. What's the point? What do you like? I don't get what. Like, I don't know, like, if that makes you feel so uncomfortable, if Trump makes you feel that uncomfortable about the way you feel politically, like, I don't know what's the point. I mean, obviously, Jimmy Kimmel is big on roasting Trump, and I get that. But I just don't think, like, what's the point of, I don't know, man. It's like, what's the point of keep making jokes about it? You're pandering for a response, and it's kind of killing entertainment for me, man. It killed Mr. Robot season 3 a little bit for me. Eminem's album was garbage because all it was dissing Trump, and even this Academy Awards, man. Like this joke right here. None other than President Trump called Get Out the best 3/4 movie of the year so far.
That was funny.
It's funny, but it's like, come on, man. Are we really gonna keep going for the low hanging fruit that this entire? I don't know. To me, it's just like I don't see the appeal of like constantly trying to get at Trump, trying to get at Republicans, trying to get at the right. Just celebrate the movies that are coming out and celebrate the relevancy of these movies. And if you really have such a big problem with what they're representing, if you have such a big problem with what politics are resembling, do something internally to change that within the Hollywood structure. Make more pictures, make more movies that address that more head on. And if you don't
think they're doing that?
I think they were moving in that direction. But then again, it goes back to like the whole Shape of Water versus Get Out kind of thing. If you're really going for more, if you really meant what you're talking about in terms of being this like super liberal, like, oh, we believe in the most upright justice, then Get Out is what's at the tip of everybody's tongue. You know what I mean? And it's just, the Academy Awards are 90 years old. We've only had 5 African-American nominees nominated for Best Picture. Only 5 women nominated for Best Director. I'm sorry, for Best Director for African-American nominees. 5 directors of women directors nominated for Best Director, there's a lot more that you could change, and I think you should start looking at yourself more than you're looking at the external politics to like get a couple of low-hanging fruit jokes. If to me, I feel like the energy could have been more spent addressing the Me Too movement, addressing Time's Up, addressing the actual problems. They did. They definitely did. And I applaud them. I think the speeches did a great job at including that. I think it's particularly Frances McDormand's speech. Also, too, with the inclusion writers is really, really cool. And I think there's definitely a new wave in going at that. But I think, if you're going to focus this much attention on Trump, also focus as much attention on what is what problems are you dealing with too. So you know what I mean?
Problems as far as like what is Hollywood themselves?
Yeah, what is Hollywood?
What do they have to address themselves?
Yeah, and I'm not one of those kind of guys who are just going to be like, oh, the Hollywood elites. No, not at all. But I definitely do think that before we start shitting on other people, let's take a look. That's how I feel like in general, just in life in general. Like, look at what's look in the mirror before you look at start judging the other people. So that's how I kind of feel.
So what would you have preferred them to call out as far as Hollywood?
I mean they had some, I don't know, man. I really would have liked to have seen them say something about just the fact that, Kevin Spacey has won a ton of Oscars. He's won like 2, if I'm not mistaken, or nominated for a lot more. Harvey Weinstein is a staple at the Academy Awards. I wish maybe not a segment dedicated towards addressing it, but at least you know what I mean.
Didn't Kimmel mention Harvey?
He did. Yeah, he did. It was like a joke, a quick joke.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, I wish that, for all the times that we're, and again, maybe I'm contradicting myself because maybe I'm just saying it should be a celebration of movies, a celebration of, film. But I definitely do think that I think that when it comes to the bigger topics of the Me Too, of the Time's Up, of the larger kind of accusation waves that's been happening, I wish they would have. I kind of wish they would have put like people like Rose McGowan to the forefront, put people like the victims who are coming out and speaking out against this, and put that into the forefront. Celebrate those people, and kind of. I mean, I don't know what internally the Oscars are doing to address the problems of like Harvey Weinstein and Kevin Spacey. They've obviously awarded plenty of times in the past, but I just kind of wish they would at least address that and mention that in some sort of way before taking digs at a president that probably isn't going to watch the award show anyway. Yeah, I agree. Am I making sense to you? I mean,
yeah, I get what you're saying. You're saying that it's too much of an attention towards someone who shouldn't even get the attention.
Yes,
someone who doesn't even deserve the attention.
Yeah,
and who shouldn't be received it. I get it. Yeah, I do feel like Hollywood has a narrative that they like to go into where it's support everything on the left, make really broad statements of diversity and of pro-women and of pro-choice and of pro-all this stuff, and then don't follow through when it comes to actual actions and when it comes to actual decisions, right? Because when it comes to decisions as far as making statements, Hollywood is pretty behind on that stuff. I mean, look at Weinstein, and Weinstein's the master of that shit. I mean, that guy donated to different places. That guy probably believed in everything that the left and the Democratic side of politics said, and yet he's one of the biggest creeps, that the country is known about. So Hollywood does have a bad tendency of not looking at themselves in the mirror enough. That is true. That is very true. However, I will say, I want to make something clear, especially after Sunday's awards, on a personal level. And I feel like this is something that's been overlooked. And I tweeted about this. I don't know if you saw my tweet when I said this about Latinos. I feel, and I really do feel like I'm not the only one, especially when I got responses on my tweet when I said this. When it comes to Latinos, man, I don't think people understand where we come from. And it kind of pisses me off a little bit because, especially when it comes to diversity. Mm-hmm. When it comes to diversity, people are so obsessed with saying, look at Black Panther, look at this, look at that. We're so diverse, we're so cool, we're so inclusive. Look at Get Out, we're changing. We're the best, we're the shit. I read a comment today saying that Guillermo del Toro isn't a person of color because he doesn't look like a person of color. That pissed me off. Why? Because he's not dark skinned? Because he's not What defines a person? What defines diversity according to you? If we can play off as white, we're white. I'm not white. I'm 100% Latino. What makes diversity? And I feel like Latinos have been the backbone of this nation for so many years. Latinos have put in work. Latinos sacrificed their lives, sacrificed their livelihood, focus on family, focus on tradition, are super religious or super Christian or super Catholic, believe with a lot of what the right says as far as on a religious atmosphere, as far as a religious base. And yet, when it comes to diversity, we talk so much about diversity, and Latinos are the most overlooked. So many films have come out throughout the years, so many narratives that have come out throughout the years as far as television goes. Breaking Bad, we're drug dealers. Sicario, we're drug dealers. Every movie we're coming out with Gringo, the new movie coming out with
no, is that Mel Gibson? Is that Mel Gibson?
No, with what's his name from David Oyelowo.
Oh, right.
We're drug dealers. We're never gonna let that Hollywood narrative down that we're drug dealers. That's the kind of diversity we see. And when it comes to diversity in general, as far as getting representation and the proper representation of seeing leading roles and actual Latino field roles with Latino field characters, with Latino field personalities and characteristics, an actor like Oscar Isaac, who is 100% Guatemalteco and he's Latino, and he comes from that background and he speaks Spanish, being put in roles that dumb down his Latino-ness. I'm not shitting on Oscar Isaac. All props to him. I love him as a brother. But it's one of those things where I do feel like sometimes we're the most overlooked type of nationality because we're not the most exuberant on screen as far as having the most visually striking person of color look that people are looking for, like an Asian, like a Middle Eastern brother, or like a black homie. Like, we don't have that striking look. We can play off as white. Oscar Isaac can play any nationality because he's Oscar Isaac. And it's like, that's some bullshit, man. Like, there has to come a point right now as far as Hollywood in general, where Hollywood jerks itself off saying that they're so fucking diverse. And yet, we don't have a voice as far as the Latino people. And I'm bringing it back to Trump because of this. So many people, as far as on the left, I'm sorry to do this, but I'm gonna do this. Have such a chip on their shoulder when it comes to whether it's CNN with Trump is out to get us and poor us, or where it comes to other types of people and other types of oppressed groups of people who come out and say that Trump is out to get them and all this shit that's probably true, bro. I'm sorry, man, but Trump didn't call you rapist. Trump didn't say he's going to build a wall to keep you out. Trump didn't say that you're bringing the worst of the worst in this country. Trump didn't literally declare war on you as far as a race of people. Trump didn't take his first national address to the nation. What was it? State of the Union address? He literally take the first State of the Union address, and the first people he calls out is Latinos. Is saying that Latinos and illegal immigrants are killing our white women, basically. That's some racist ass shit. I will never stop saying this, but Paul Ryan, Speaker of the House Paul Ryan, when asked about Trump's comments towards the Mexican judge last year when he was running for president, and when he was asked, what do you think of Trump's statements as far as saying that he can't do his job because he's Mexican, Paul Ryan said he was racist. Paul Ryan said that Trump said textbook definition of racism is what he displayed. What I'm trying to say is we're literally a group of people that when people talk about diversity and when they talk about oppression, where everyone's like, oh, well, this and that and this and that. Bro, you've never been in a situation where you speak Spanish and you're glared at because you speak Spanish. So don't come at me with some bullshit of like, oh, but you haven't blah, 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 and all this shit that Trump is doing to me, poor me. And it's like, bro, no. I mean, there's a group of people called Latinos who get daily persecution and who are overlooked in one of the most places that celebrates diversity, that's Hollywood. That's some bullshit, man. I'm telling you right now, it's some bullshit. And it's one of those things where it's like, when are we going to get proper representation? Finally, we get something like Coco. And even Coco is not even getting the right amount of representation that we got. What I'm saying is that on Sunday night's Oscars, too, we got Gael Garcia Bernal, we got Oscar Isaac, we got Chile getting a fantastic woman.
Yeah.
We got Eugenio Derbez announcing the performance of Miguel, singing "Remember Me."
Remember Me. Yeah.
We got you know, the creators of Coco, one of them who is Mexican, one of them is Mexican. We're trying to chip away at this narrative that so many people overlook because it's not as sexy as other diverse issues or other diverse groups of people. And I feel like that is something that should be stopped being overlooked. And as a Latino guy who's extremely passionate, as you can tell, it's something that is kind of like been on my nerves a little bit, that a place that is so left and that is so diverse refuses to celebrate that diversity of Latinos on a full scale because it's not as cool and sexy as other groups of people that will bring in more money. Bro, we'll pay money, bro. Ask Fast and Furious.
Yeah, Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious is like, bro, you put 2 Latinos in Fast and Furious and you get millions of Latinos watching that movie. So don't if you put 2 Mexican songs in Fast and Furious or Latino songs and you get millions and billions of dollars in that movie. So trust me, we'll come out, we'll support, and we'll pay money to see it. And for me, it's like, when are we going to get an Oscar Isaac in a performing role where he's playing a Latino badass? Let's get that fucking movie. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, Mic drop.
No. I definitely think the on-camera diversity is probably one of the biggest lacking places for Latinos, and you know, even for Asian Americans too, but particularly for Latinos, is you know, you're right. The stereotypes that are being put on to Hispanics in this country and Latinos in this country are what the president is saying. The images that he's putting out. I definitely think that if Hollywood, and you're right, Hollywood should start telling more stories about people who are not drug dealers, people who are not or criminals or whatnot. That's all we see on television, on film. I'd almost like to see, you know, now we have Black Panther coming out. Let's start to see a Latino superhero kind of break big and make waves. And I think I mean, obviously, African American representation is probably at an all-time high on camera than was probably ever been in any time in history. I think definitely if you start capitalizing on other minority groups as well, there's a lot of revenue to be made there. And not only to mention that, I mean, look at how relevant people, how much people attach to something like Coco, right? Even the whole performance with the second half of the song they performed in Spanish, right? That's just a simple little move that could really make, I'm sure, a lot of people from a Hispanic background feel really good. And you know, obviously there are a lot of Latino directors who are winning Best Director as of recently. If I'm not mistaken, last 4 out of 5 directors of the Best Director.
I mean, we got talent, man.
Yeah,
we got talent. There's no denying that.
Yeah. I think there's definitely a much bigger need for on-camera humanization and representation, because if you don't make stories of people in the leads, you don't have a lot of humanization for people, you know, and I think that's for further generations too, when it comes to representation, further generations to see down the line that people can feel special and feel represented. I think Camille Ninjagi said it best in that in his part in the Oscars. And I think when they address stuff like that, I think that's when the Oscars is at his best. You know, when he said, you know, he grew up watching movies about straight white men made by straight white men
and relating to straight
white men. Now it's your turn to relate to somebody who looks like me, and I think that's important.
That's such a good line too, because this isn't about taking white people away from movies or taking white people, you know, white movies away or anything. That's not what this is about at all. I love Batman. Batman's white. I love Superman. Superman's white as hell. I mean, there's so many characters that I look up to. Spider-Man's white my whole life. Peter Parker's the whitest homie alive. But I love watching him, and I really relate to that character. It's the same when it comes vice versa. I can relate to now other white people, and me can relate to someone like T'Challa or someone like Killmonger or someone like Nakia or someone like Shuri. It's the same thing. It shouldn't be different just because it's a different race of people. I feel like there's such a, especially when it comes to narratives, I feel like the narrative on the right is such a like, oh, I just gotta be black though. And I'm like, bro, I mean, there's so many different white people too, and black people love white people. Why can't white people love black people? Like this isn't mad scientist. This is some basic ass shit. Yeah. So all I'm saying is you have actors and there can be roles that can be portrayed for them when it comes to positivity and when it comes to leading performances. I just saw Annihilation. Oscar Isaac is in Annihilation. Why wasn't he Latino in Annihilation? Basic stuff like that. And that's such a small role that he has in that movie. But all I'm saying is that little changes here and there by tweaking little character moments, character names, character backgrounds can make a world of difference. I'm telling you, man, Diego Luna in Rogue One was just day and night. Pedro Pascal in Game of Thrones playing Oberyn Martell was such a delight. And I know you haven't seen Game of Thrones, but I'm telling you, man, Oberyn Martell in Game of Thrones, just so you get the reference, comes into this show after 4 seasons, and this guy is Latino. Well, technically he's not Latino, but that's what makes it even better. He's Latino, he's a prince, he's the smartest man on the planet, and he's the best fighter in the show. And it's like, holy shit, when he came into that show, for me, dude, personally, watching that, like, this is me, you know, being like, what, 21, 22 years old when he came out in season 4, being like, holy shit, I can relate to a character and I can cheer for a character who's a badass and who's Latino and who's not trying to steal some guy's, you know, wallet or some shit. He's a prince. He's the richest homie on the planet. He's the smartest homie on the planet, and he can kick your ass. And that's the type of roles I want to see Latinos have. And it's such an easy change. It's such an easy little character switch that they can put in, and you have the actors for it. It's not like you don't have the actors for it. So that's just what I want to see, and I feel like Coco might be the first step to that, but it's an animated movie. I mean, we could do this in live action. We can do something different. So I just want to see more representation when it comes to Latinos. And when it comes to having that in the forefront, because I do feel like we're such a big population and we're such a powerful motive, and Hollywood is like, we're diverse now. Guess we fixed the problem, and it's like, no, you're not. You're not. You're much far off.
Yeah.
And you still have to really push the Latino people.
Yeah, I'm hoping that, you know, definitely more on-camera representation for Latinos. I'm hoping for a little more off-camera, like behind-the-scenes stuff for Black people. Of course, you know, we have a lot of on-camera talent, stars and whatnot, but like I said, Jordan Peele is only the 5th nominee in 90 years that we see of of a Black director being nominated for Best Director. I'm hoping that moves a little forward as well too. I honestly thought last year would have been the year for Moonlight with Barry Jenkins, and I think this year could have been the year for Jordan Peele too. But Guillermo del Toro definitely deserved his Best Director his Best Director win. I almost feel like they should have, you know. Shape of Water is cool. Like I said, I really enjoyed it. It's my number 8 in my top 10 of last year. I almost kind of feel like, though, he should have won the Oscar back when Pan's Labyrinth was when Pan Labyrinth was around, and that could have been, especially a movie of from Spain, is, you know, Spaniard, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Pan's Labyrinth, that could have been a movie that celebrated a lot more, I guess, of that diversity kind of stuff too.
Yeah. It's just it's an opportunity to have different groups of people and different voices, and I think it's such an easy switch. Dude, Zoe Saldana is like super Latina. Yeah. Like, let's have Zoe Saldana play some roles, man.
She was in that one Colombiana though, right?
Yeah, she was in Colombiana.
Yeah, that movie's badass.
But I mean, that's another one who, like, come on, man. We got the talent. We've proven before that we got enough talent. We've proven it with so many different talented people. We can put them in roles, and it's so many different types of Latinos that live in this nation, and so many different backgrounds that they come from, that this Oscar, if anything, it reminded me, especially with Coco, with Remember Me, with Gael García Bernal, with Chile, with Oscar Isaac saying Viva Latinoamérica, with all that kind of stuff, with Eugenio Derbez. It really is one of those things where now is the time more than ever. So I'm going to stop that rant. Real quick, let's talk about song performances of the night. One of the favorites of people's. What was your favorite musical performance?
Hey man, I said last week that my favorite song of the nominees is A Mystery of Love from Stephen Stevens, man.
Which one's it? Oh, that's the Call Me By Your Name folk song?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
That's your favorite?
Yeah, man. That shit is beautiful.
Was that your favorite performance?
Yeah. Shit.
Really?
Yeah.
It was cool. It wasn't bad, but
Remember Me was a great performance too,
sure.
like from a visual standpoint.
A lot of I saw some people shitting on Gael, saying he's not a good singer.
No, I think the singing was great, man.
I thought he was fine. My mom texted me, and he's like, he's not a singer, and I'm like, Mom, he sings great for an actor who's never sang. He sings pretty good.
Yeah,
he's not Miguel. Like, Miguel's a singer.
Right.
But he's still not bad.
Yeah. No, I thought it was good, man. I thought it was good.
I can't lie though, man. If I'm being honest, the one that stole the show, you know what I'm gonna say?
Which one?
I haven't even seen the damn movie. But This Is Me,
Oh,
That shit was baller.
That shit was cool. Yeah.
You didn't like it?
I mean, it was cool.
I loved it, dude.
Yeah, I thought it was a little weird when all the people came out in the end.
Oh, I loved it, bro.
Yeah.
I would have hugged them people, man. I would have been like, come here, man.
Yeah. What was the one, Mudbound, with
Mary J. Blige?
Yeah. Common Luther King out there preaching to the folks. Stand the fuck up, Academy. Stand up. Stand the fuck up!
I would have stood up
everybody
too.
uncomfortably like standing out in the audience. I thought
that wasn't Mudbound. That was Good Marshall, something like that.
Oh, Marshall. Yeah, Mudbound was a different one. I just thought it was funny. He was just like, "Stand up, Oscar, stand up!" And like, everybody's like, "Okay, I guess you're standing."
to be honest, man, that's another thing, bro. If Common is telling you to stand up, man.
Common Luther King, man.
Come on, you can't sit down during an Oscar performance, man. If it were me, I would have stood up for the freaking "Call Me by Your Name" folk song. Like I would have stood up for all the songs.
Yeah.
Like people need to get off their butt and stop being so comfortable.
Yeah. Oh man, the Mary J. Blige one though. Okay, maybe that's why I confused it. That one kind of hurt.
Why?
I don't think she
killed it. She killed it, bro.
I don't know. It ain't the same Mary J. Blige.
Oh,
like
come
20
on,
years
man.
Ago, you know what
I mean, the song's okay, but she sings. Like,
she was a little pitchy. She was a little pitchy.
What?
A little pitchy.
Compared to Folk Boys from Call Me by Your Name?
Hey, man, he was great. Salute to Stephon Stevens, dog.
All right, man. Let's talk about Kimmel. What do you think of Kimmel?
He was good, man. I mean, I'm glad, oh, man, but I don't know. Actually, maybe I shouldn't. I thought he was all right. I thought he
was okay too.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of Jimmy Kimmel since I was 14. Yeah. I've been watching him for years and years and years. I love Jimmy Kimmel, like from a personal level.
Yeah.
But he was okay. I thought his opening monologue was fine. I thought his bits worked better than his opening stuff and his dialogue stuff. I thought his gags. What do you think of his gags? The theater gag and then the jet ski gag.
Oh, the jet ski gag was hilarious.
Jet ski gag was there.
That was funny.
That was funny.
That was really good.
To be honest, man, I was telling my friends at the Oscar party that I went to, I would have been like, I love you, Mom.
Yeah. You get that jet ski.
Peace, bro. I want that jet ski, bro. I'm going to get that stuff. I'm going to sell that shit.
Yeah. That one, so, okay, yeah, that was a funny, I didn't think the theater one worked, though. I thought that was a little stupid. Especially because they gave, what was the guy's name? Mike Young or whatever? They gave that fool whole fucking screenplay to read, like, at the end.
Oh,
like, they were
yeah.
like, hey, introduce the next presenter. He's like, from the, they gave this dude a whole script to like read like before he just couldn't say like it wasn't like Lupita Nyong'o and
Tiffany Haddish
or Tiffany Haddish and Maya Rudolph. Yeah, like he couldn't just say that. I thought it was a little crazy.
Also, like passing out hot dogs and sandwiches to people
Hey,
in the middle of a screening.
Poor people, take this food.
Yeah, take it. Nothing like rich Hollywood elite actors throwing out hot dogs to a crowd of movie theater people.
Yeah, I thought it was funny. I don't know if you saw a little gif of like Wonder Woman, Gal Gadot, and Luke Hamill shaking hands.
That was great.
I'm sorry, Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
Sorry, yeah.
I adore Mark Hamill. One of these days, he's gonna I'm gonna message him on Twitter and he's gonna message me back. One of these days, Mark Hamill.
Have you been messaging him now?
I've been messaging him since I was 15 years old. No, I'm playing. Since before Twitter was a thing. No, yeah, I love Mark Hamill, man. I really do feel like he's just a genuinely his panel at Star Wars Celebration is probably my favorite panel that was there. Did you see his panel for Star Wars?
No, I didn't know.
It's so good, man. Obviously, I wasn't at Star Wars Celebration, but I saw it on YouTube. It was so good. It's so much fun to hear a genuinely older dude tell stories about his. I don't know why he reminds me kind of my dad. Like my dad's super quirky.
Yeah.
And Mark Hamill's really quirky, and he's kind of like the same age as my dad. So I don't know. I love Mark Hamill, and he's just a super cool guy.
Yeah. No.
And Gal Gadot, shout out to Gal Gadot, who, was like, hey, I'm not going to get my Best Picture nomination, so I'm going to throw out some gummy bears at people. And I'm going to talk. She said 3 times. She was like, this is so much better than the Oscars. Am I right, guys? She said it 3 times. And then she was like, Jimmy's like, well, hey, guys, this is really fun, right? And he's like, this is so much better than the Oscars, right? She kept saying it. And I was like, all right, girl, all right. A little salty. Wonder Woman not getting the nomination. I get it.
That's funny. It didn't deserve it.
It didn't deserve it. I 100% agree.
You know what's funny though, man? I honestly thought it was I don't know what you thought about the whole opening thing with like the black and white with Jimmy Kimmel doing tell me about from the 1950s.
That wasn't Jimmy Kimmel. That was Mario Lopez.
Mario Lopez. Yeah. I don't know, man.
I like that. That was funny.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's kind of stupid. I think in past, like, past show openers. I think last year how they opened it with the Justin Timberlake song, "Can't Fight the Feeling."
Well, that's different. That's awesome, a musical number, though.
Yeah, but I mean that was an awesome way to start the show. Like you're kicking off with this low
What would you
energy.
have started the show with? What
Or for like number? A montage.
Common being like, "Stand up! Welcome to the Oscars. You suck, chump."
Stand up for what you believe in, son. Like, I don't know, man. You could have, I don't know, maybe not start with a song, but with a montage.
Did you see, and I know I'm the only one, did you see the Lonely Island song that they were going to do?
Oh, no, which one?
You didn't see it?
Nah.
Oh, bro, I'm going to have to show you after the show, but Lonely Island made an Oscar opening.
Oh, really?
Dude, it is, and they said that they didn't get picked because it was going to cost too much money. Yeah. You'll see why it was going to cost too much money, because it's kind of crazy what they were planning to do.
Yeah.
But I'll show you after the show, man.
Yeah.
If you want, you can tweet about it, but it is legendary. It is hysterical. So basically the premise of it was, well, I don't want to spoil it. All right, I'm gonna let it go. But they had an opening Oscar number that was gonna go down in history.
Really?
It was gonna go down in history, dude. Lonely Island was about to drop all the mics all over the world. It would have been the biggest thing ever. I'm not even kidding. I'm not exaggerating. It was so funny. I highly recommend you guys checking out the Lonely Island YouTube channel where they put out the potential Oscar opening number song that they were gonna do. But yeah, I think that's all the notes I had as far as what went down. Shout out to Mark Bridges for winning the jet ski. Mark Bridges, the designer for Phantom Thread.
Yes, what was that, 36 seconds?
Yeah. Mark Bridges was the guy who was at the Q&A when I went to the Q&A. I was gonna ask him about clothes because he had a Q&A about. It was him and Vicky Creeps when I went to see Phantom Thread.
Right.
Yeah, shout out to Vicky Creeps, who was there and who was super freaking, foreign. I still love her though. I think she's great. Yeah. Shout out to Mark Bridges, who rode out in the Oscar with Helen Mirren. And,
right, and
jet ski.
Yeah.
What is that Tory Lanez song, Booty Popping on a Jet Ski?
Right, I know what you're talking about. I know. Oh, man, did I tell you I met Helen Mirren in an elevator one time?
What?
Yeah.
That's amazing, man.
I was at USC, and then they had, like, the graduation.
Did you actually, introduce yourself?
Well, I was like, hi, how you doing? And then I didn't, shake her hand. I was like, hi. But, to me, I was so kind of, I was like, is this really Helen Mirren? I couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? I was kind of starstruck, but I stood in the elevator with her. I went 2 floors up. She was on the next floor up. I guess she was meeting with the school cinematic arts president or whatever. But then it was just it was crazy. So I was like, there's no way I could have been Helen Mirren. And she after I was like, hi, how you doing? She was like, hi. And she smiled and did that. I was like, oh shit. So then as soon as I left the elevator, I was like, it's Helen Mirren at USC. And it's first thing pops up. She's at the graduation. I'm like, dog, that's
amazing.
Yeah,
the one I had in the elevator was Macy Williams and Sophie Turner. But I didn't meet. Remember that Comic-Con?
Yeah.
You were there.
No.
Were you there?
I don't know.
No, you weren't there.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah.
That was the year before you were there.
I think you told me about it though.
Yeah. Yeah. That's going to go down in history.
Sophie Turner.
Yeah. Sophie Turner and Maisie Williams, Arya Stark and Sansa Stark. Shout out to them. Even though Littlefinger was right. Hashtag Littlefinger was right. Anything else you want to say before we close out the show?
Nah, not really. Talking about, Peter Dinklage in Game of Thrones. He was great in 3 Billboards.
Oh, he's awesome in 3 Billboards. Yeah. He's so good. People forget he was in the movie.
Yeah.
Because I thought he was
didn't
great.
even know he was in the movie until he popped up.
Let's finish up by saying Frances McDormand's speech. What do you think of her and the whole Me Too movement and the call out for women to stand up?
I thought it was great, man. I thought the inclusion writer thing, it was really, if you have to look that up, it's from Stacy Smith, the creator of the USC Annenberg intervention thing that puts out the annual report that talks about diversity in movies every year. Pretty much everything that Hollywood Reporter and the Wrap kind of refers to each year when they talk about that kind of stuff. Really great to see that get some recognition. My kind of question is, I don't know if you saw the whole Emma Stone thing with the Emma Stone presenting the best
Why
directors.
was that a controversy?
I think it's controversial because she's calling out the fact that there's only been 5 women nominated for Best Director. There's only been 5 black people nominated too. Why didn't she say Jordan Peele's name? It's kind of like white feminism, kind of, that kind of feel to it too. Guillermo del Toro's nominated too. He's also a minority. Are you saying women are more discriminated against than black people? That's where it kind of gets tricky.
That's a good point. I understand that. I don't feel like she did it from a place of that kind of negativity though.
No, she didn't. But then is she also the person to speak on that because she was in
Aloha State?
Aloha, yeah, with the
Bradley Cooper.
Yeah, where she plays half Hawaiian,
half Asian, half Hawaiian.
Yeah, half Jamaican. I'm sorry, half Japanese, half Hawaiian.
Yeah, I get that. I just don't feel like she comes from a place of bad intentions. I just feel like Yeah, that was probably poor choice on her words. I just don't feel like she should get eaten alive for that. I feel like let's just go after Lena Dunham for no reason. Everything you want to say to Emma Stone, tweet at Lena Dunham.
Lena Dunham,
just tweet at Lena Dunham. I was like, this is meant for Emma Stone, but screw you, Lena. I'm just kidding. Shout out to Lena. I love you, girl. Yeah, I just don't feel like Emma Stone comes from a place of like.
No, she definitely wasn't trying. No, she wasn't trying to be offensive. But
I just feel like, yeah, I don't know. I mean, Natalie Portman did it earlier too, and I know that's different because there's different nominees or whatever. But I just feel like, yeah, that was funny when Natalie did it too, because it cut to Guillermo.
Yeah.
Did you see that? As soon as Natalie said that, it cut to Guillermo, and Guillermo went,
yeah, what do you want me to say?
What did I do? Shit. I don't know. It's not my fault I got a dick.
Yeah. I think that's part of it too. Like, Natalie Portman already made the joke. You're kind of making a worse joke of it now too.
Sure, but Natalie Portman didn't say
a specific name.
Yeah, whereas Emma Stone said Greta Gerwig.
Yeah. I think it's a little unfair on Greta Gerwig's part too, like, you know, being called out like that.
Sure.
Where it's not even like.
I just feel like when it comes to Emma Stone, I really do feel like maybe I'm just an Emma Stone fan or whatever, but I just feel like she's not coming from a place of bad intention.
Yeah.
No, I totally get that. Yeah, because it should be recognized. Jordan Peele should be recognized, and so should Guillermo. Yeah. So yeah. Oh well. But Frances McDormand's speech was pretty gnarly. She went pretty nuts because she's kind of nuts.
Hey, man. I was really happy, by the way. Whenever, like, Dunkirk won an award and everybody's like, thank you to Christopher Nolan, and cuts over to Nolan, he's, like, smiling over there. You know what I mean?
He deserves it, man.
Yeah.
That guy's a master. He deserves all that attention, for sure. When it comes to any shout out to the Walmart commercials, shout out to Melissa McCarthy.
They're actually, no, I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't like Walmart, but
I don't like Walmart.
Yeah.
Hey, I love Walmart. Walmart's my shit, bro. I go to Walmart all the time. I go to Walmart with my sweatpants on, my flip flops, bro. I'm a true American, bro.
Yeah.
True American. That's a true American. In my pajamas.
Yeah.
You're not American unless you've been in Walmart in your pajamas. That's all I'm saying.
But I'm glad they get like those little.
Dude, shout out to Rachel Morrison and what's her name, Dee Reeves.
Yeah.
Who was in that commercial? Also, the commercial for Twitter was dope. I don't know why I liked it so much.
Yeah,
but
that was
I liked
weird.
It.
Yeah, I didn't.
That was weird, but I kind of liked it. I don't know why I liked
it.
It's like super like. It was just that one girl kind of doing like a spoken word thing.
Yeah.
And they
cut to like a
cut to Ava and they cut to Issa Rae.
TT was in it too.
Taika Waititi was in the other one, in the Walmart one, I think.
Oh, he's in Walmart. Oh
yeah. Or some other.
He was in one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Taika who freaking took.
I was like, damn, he got a commercial,
bro. Taika is kicking ass, bro. Yeah. Taika's kicking ass. Today, get Thor Ragnarok on Blu-ray. Go buy it if you haven't done it already. The movie's awesome. All the support to Taika Waititi.
Man, I don't know. They didn't show it during the Oscars, but I always thought it's kind of funny how like the Gap keeps having those commercials with like Metro Boomin and SZA. Like,
I've seen that.
Isn't that kind of crazy? Like
this
guy's like a trap like producer. Like he doesn't even rap. He's just like making beats and he's like in commercials dancing and shit. I don't know. That's kind of funny to me, man.
It is always funny when I see those.
So I connected to that with the Taika thing because it's like, damn, behind the scenes people are like starting to become bigger stars and like even a lot of the in front of the camera. So
yeah, for sure. That's it for me. I mean, the only other thing that maybe stood out was the honor of the veterans.
The troops.
That was cool. I liked it. I just felt like it was a little random. There was no lead up to it. Yeah. I felt like it could have been more earned as far as a lead up. Like it felt like a joke, and then it's like, here's the veterans, and it's like, where did this come from?
Well, I think that was kind of their way of like, hey guys, I know we're gonna shit on the Trump a lot, but we're still American. Like we're still celebrating.
But I mean, that's true. It probably was propaganda in that sense. But I mean, it's good propaganda. I feel like they should.
Yeah, no, I love them. I love that montage. That nerd montage in there too.
The movie lover montage or something.
Yeah.
Dope.
Oh, it was amazing.
That was dope.
Yeah, they have so many great. I love the montage where they show like the best supporting actors, best supporting actresses before like those came out. The leading actors and leading actresses too. Really great.
Awesome, guys. All right, well, those were our thoughts on the Oscars, guys. Let us know what you guys thought. Let us know what you guys thought was the biggest snub, your favorite winner, who should have won visual effects. Let us know in the comments down below. I'm sure we're going to have a debate about that. What did you guys think of the Oscars? Was it too much? Was it too little? Was it fun? Was it entertaining? Was it too safe? Let us know in the comments down below. Make sure you guys leave a comment, guys. We appreciate it. We read them all the time, and we will be reading them next week as well. So make sure you leave one because we will be looking at them as we always do. And for this episode, I am Ace.
This is RB3.
And we are peacing out from the Meaning of Podcast. Peace out, guys.